Sky Sports pundits were out in full force yesterday and they've been blasting Celtic's Champions League campaign. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. We kind of touched on this yesterday with Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton. That was more after the game. These comments were pre-game against St Johnstone. And the simple matter is this. Chris Sutton says, "We can't get past it. This season's Champions League campaign has been really feeble. Really disappointing," and that is sadly for them, for Celtic. We even had a game to a game left. There is a match left on the card here. Of course, they are at home against Feyenoord and Celtic. I think, in Europe, you should always be looking at the final game as like at least half a chance to get into the next round of Europe. Whether that be the Europa with third or, maybe the last 16. If you're a big club. And here, I can't say anything. Rangers last season were a fucking disgrace. They really, really were. And this might shock a few people. I genuinely think the best team in Europe this season's Aberdeen. I know Rangers have guaranteed at least Conference League, but I think Rangers' performance in the Europa League have been a disgrace. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble, but I think they have been. Honestly, see apart from the first half against Sparta Prague, we've not been good enough. And that's the first half at home, by the way, because the first half away was abysmal. 1 point out of 6 against Aris Limassol. Alright, good win against Betis, right? So it's a good win against Betis, and it's 2 good results against Sparta Prague. But the other 2 completely outdo that for me, and I get it, Aberdeen are out, but I'm actually shocked the fact that Aberdeen have, picked up 3 draws. When, in all fairness, Aberdeen could be sitting undefeated in that group. I get it, troops. It's if, buts, maybes. But if I was to pick a team out of Europe this season that I think has honestly done the best, I'd go with Aberdeen. They took it to Frankfurt. They should have beat PAK once. They drew with them. I think that was the only fair result. And both times against Helsinki, I think they should have won. You look at Celtic. It's been an absolute capitulation in Europe. Now, yeah, admittedly, the early couple of games I was like, I think Celtic have been hard done by there. Probably should have beat Lazio, but they didn't. Got pumped by Atletico Madrid in the second leg. In the first leg, that game could have went either way, but the second half was Atletico's. And then the first game, they bottled it against Feyenoord on the taking there. But then away in Rome, Ciro Immobile sat them down and fucking spanked them. It is that simple. And it isn't good enough, but it's the Celtic way, as they talked about. They'll just take winning the league if it means they can, get that guaranteed Champions League football, but they're not going to do anything. And I'm sorry, man, but if Celtic don't strengthen in January, that is like another sign of they don't really give a fuck about Europe. Because why wouldn't you want to strengthen in January to bed these players in for next season's European campaign? I don't get that. And if Celtic don't strengthen in January, they do seriously run the risk of, falling into Rangers' clutches. And even though Rangers' clutches is like those claw machines where it's rigged and you literally just can't pick the bear up or whatever, the 20-point note. The gap's 5 points if Rangers win their game in hand. That's not an insurmountable gap. And this Celtic team's not an Ange Celtic team. This is a pish Celtic team, but it's a pish Rangers team. And the problem with this Rangers and Celtic team is both of them, they're both fucking shite. Honestly, but Celtic have a winning mentality and Rangers don't. That's the difference. Celtic are used to winning. And if Celtic don't strengthen, they might not win the Scottish Cup as well. So, it's not like they're at the League Cup as well. It's not like Celtic are firing on all cylinders. So for Celtic not to go out and strengthen, I don't actually understand the logic. But in a bit of funny news, apparently Rangers manager Philippe Clement featured high up on a very short list of preferred candidates to replace Ange at Celtic until Brendan Rodgers agreed to return to the Scottish champions. So there you have it, guys. Brendan Rodgers hoovering the job of Philippe Clement. How different would... honestly, I'd rather the way things turned out. I would rather us with Philippe Clement, because I think Philippe Clement is better than Rodgers. And that's the bottom line, because Big Stevie said so. But anyway, guys, till next time, peace.